Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, Allah.
And again, another point, you cannot have a condition of secrecy on knowledge. Okay, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is if somebody gives a fatwa, somebody gives an answer, somebody says something about the deen, okay, and then that person says, "Oh, don't tell anybody." No, this is not a valid secret, okay, and this leads to a lot of abuse and a lot of manipulation and a lot of misguidance. I've come across situations regularly where people are teaching the wrong thing, and the people they're teaching, "Don't tell such and such, okay, don't tell anybody, make sure nobody hears." If you're teaching what's right, why are you saying don't tell anybody? You see what I mean? Now, I suppose it's different, when if you go into a class or a course or something like this, and they say, "Oh, look, the attendees here have, paid for the course, etc. Please don't video it, put it everywhere," that kind of thing. Hey, but even then, individual points, especially things that are raised, and you feel that there might be a problem or an issue, you are not only within your rights, you may be obliged to go and check this with somebody else. Okay, this is very important, and in recent times, especially people here in Luton, I've come across this too often. I'm not saying it's only in Luton, but this is my experience. Too often, somebody will come and say, "Oh, this is the case with this, or this is the ruling for this." No, that's wrong. Where did you get that from? I can't say. It's not a game, okay? This is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It don't belong to you, and it doesn't belong to the person who told you. This is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? If somebody's teaching it wrong, that person needs to be corrected. And everybody makes mistakes at times. I don't understand the secrecy. Okay? Rather, a scholar or a teacher should be completely the opposite. Okay? If I teach you something, then spread it. Yeah, I can understand sometimes when sheikhs say, "Look, I'm going to tell you something and don't spread it to the masses." Okay? Because certain things, if you spread it to uneducated people, they may misunderstand. But there's no excuse and never an excuse for, "I'm going to tell you something, don't tell it to learned people." That's a clear, it should be a clear alarm bell for people. Anybody who teaches you the deen and says, "I'm teaching you this, don't tell it to any other learned person," that's wrong. Okay? And I've come across it again and again in recent times. Okay? So people say, they'll spread things, they'll say things, they'll teach things. Okay, keep it to yourself. This is not, you're not speaking about your family matters, your personal finances, okay, your household, okay, your situation with you're speaking about the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have no right. Okay, if you're right, you're right. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. Okay, but there's no secrecy. Okay? And this is important, but sadly, as I said, this is widespread nowadays. I've come across it too often now. And this is used to often in situations of abuse, where abuse is taking place, be it, financial abuse, or be it religious or spiritual abuse, or other types of abuse as well. There's always that caveat there. Okay, I'll tell you this, don't tell anybody. وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ. And the sad thing is, the people who hear it, they got, sadly, very little understanding of Islam themselves. Okay, I won't tell anybody. Okay, why? Show me a scholar who said this in our history. Imagine if Abu Hanifa done that. Okay, I'm giving you this fatwa, don't tell anybody. No scholar in his right mind would sit with him. Say goodbye. You want to keep secrets, sit in your house and you speak to Abu Hanifa, and Abu Hanifa speaks to you. You speak to yourself. Okay. You want to teach the deen and keep things secret. Okay.